Again, it's this framework that's disintegrating, hopefully, sooner rather than later. I mean, think about it for one second. You have Elon Musk, who literally is, as far as I can tell, the only CEO who's taken on the entire automotive industry. Now he's taking on somewhat the utilities because of the battery, the storage power for the renewables. And I'm looking across the landscape of CEOs and go, why is he the only guy that's either... Maybe, I'm sure there's a lot of people in incubators and renewable energy incubators working on their ideas. But look, there's one guy that's raised to the top. Think about that for a minute. And you've got hundreds of fossil fuel CEOs, hundreds of chemical CEOs, hundreds of fossil fuel-based fertilizer CEOs. So we've got a problem. We don't have enough innovators that are thinking and have the power to do what Elon has done, right? So I think that is a testament to how far behind we are given the state of the world in terms of the natural world.
Look, you and I agree on this in our other conversations. I mean, we're in serious trouble. And I think personally, and correct me if I'm wrong, from what I've seen in my life, and just to make clear to the audience, I was a project manager for a wind turbine company in North America for about 3 or 4 years. So I've been in the renewable energy space. I've put up, a lot of 1.5 megawatt turbines, and trying to do a solar plant right now in New Mexico. And I will tell you, the level of corruption at the state level, and I know in this election, look, probably a lot of people watching this are maybe Sanders fans or lobbyists for oil and gas companies. But, what's really happening is, as much as we're all into, oh my God, the federal government's corrupt, they're nothing compared to the state government. And the state and local governments are what are really controlling your lives. And so, when you look at the bigger issues, take a city like Houston. A couple years ago, Houston's mayor was elected with 17% of the vote. 17. That's how few people vote in state and local elections. And the state and local elections are not covered by the news channels. Because local news is like, guess who's putting the most pepperonis on their pizza? It's not, hey, you're about to die.
Well, it's true. The Thomas Lindsay and the Community Environmental Legal Defense Fund, or CELDEF, which is the group of lawyers that came to this, they really ran up against what you're calling state preemption all the time. So it's a lot easier to buy off a state house, a state Congress, than in some ways the federal level. So that's happened a lot. And again, it is about campaign finance. It is about giving money to politicians.
Wait, so that actually has an effect?
Yeah.
Giving money to politicians?
Yes, it does.
Damn it.
I'll be the first to tell you.
And the whole time I thought people were motivated by their beliefs.
No, and I think it's clear to everyone that that's how the system works, and as we see with corporate, the amount of corporate money in PACs and the amount of votes changed, and then the Princeton study that says that we are in an oligarchy. It's entirely based on the will of a certain group of people getting their way, and it's usually and is the top 1%, which are CEOs or people who own companies and things like that. So if you look at the polling over the last 40 years. People, your everyday person in the United States, what they would like, what they want from themselves, they don't see that in the law. So, I mean, what community would ever agree to a state law that says you can't sue a fossil fuel company even if they dump hazardous waste in your backyard? No normal person would agree to that.
Well, it's just like the restrictions they put on documenting what's happening on factory farms by making it illegal to film the torture of animals.
Exactly. Yeah. So we have that in every industry. I mean, again, we have it with water withdrawals, in the state where we have drought. We have Nestle withdrawing water.
Yep.
I mean, we have it in all sorts of places that things you don't even think about. Also, GMOs. Another community we covered was in Oregon. And the Willamette Valley, which I was not aware of, is such a unique valley that they grow seed crops. So essentially, they're growing all the seeds for not only this country, but the rest of the world, a lot of seeds. And now the GMO companies are coming in to sow their crops.
And to be clear, that's Monsanto and...
Yes, Monsanto and other companies. And imagine if you now have the seeds, this is the beginning of all things, being contaminated in the place where they grow the seeds. So now this community is fighting back heavily against the GMO companies so that they can protect the integrity of a corn seed or, whatever seed that they're growing.
Monsanto, by the way, which is now trying to merge with Bayer,
That makes-
Ashford, to form an even larger, more powerful company.
Yes, indeed. That
And,
does not
and
surprise
what do you
me.
think our elected representatives are going to do about that?
Nothing under this system.